Hi friends, it's Sarah with Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today I'm going to use the xTool F2 to make some graduation earrings, but maybe not like you've seen. We're using these stainless steel hoop earrings, and I encountered a problem I thought it would be good to share with you in case you encounter it as well. So in case you encounter other problems though, look, I am now a demo room host. If you have any questions on the software, if you want to look at some product, if you want to look at material tests along with me, or you want one-on-one training, I'm going to put the link to that down below. You can book it. Okay, so I'm also going to be using another Creative JIG today. I know you guys are really loving those. This is Model Magic. It is a children's kind of Play-Doh, kind of clay. The idea is that it's malleable. And so don't use a non-Newtonian like kinetic sand, but you can use Play-Doh. If you're new here, I tend to not add any fluff. I go quickly. You can change the playback speed in the YouTube player. Anything above the word normal will slow this down. So I'm going to use these. They requested gold, and I'm going to show you the mistake that I made so you don't make it and have to waste a pair. So I'm only going to be working on the back. So you do have to make sure whatever you've been requested to do, you do. I'm going to make sure it's clean. You can use a little tiny bit of rubbing alcohol. You can use a polish. Just make sure there's no detritus and no fingerprints. I am going to be doing a light engraving. This is not an annealing. We are actually going to make a very slight indentation into these earrings. So I'm just going to plop these on. The 2 points I have to say is number one, line it up under the dot, manually focus that dot. It's not going to matter yet, but trust me, it makes a habit form. Anything shiny gets a manual focus. And the second thing is level. Make sure the item is level. Do that a couple of times throughout the process. Now there is a really, really impressive 50 megapixel camera on this thing, so that's what we're going to use to start. We're not going to stay here, but that's because I want the curve engraving. So what I'm going to do is hit T on my keyboard. You can come to the left menu and hit the letter T. And I'm going to type in the graduation year. I get asked about fonts a lot, and I'm saying any single time you are using something smaller than about an inch, make sure you are using a very simple font. Garamond is a fancy font that is very simple. I recommend you use it. I'm going to choose Engrave and make it black so you can see it a little better. Now, even though I am sizing here, I actually want to come up to the text menu and vertically make the text vertical. So now I can come up here and change the spacing. That's leading. So let's come down to spacing, Sarah. There we go. Now, I would make sure that you like your spacing. Don't crunch it up because a curve engraving could crunch it up even more. There you go. Now you can make it, again, size it to this, but it's not really gonna matter. But if it gives you a nice warm fuzzy like it does me, size your heart out. You can use the turn tool, the rotation tool, or you can just hit -90 degrees up in the angle up there. But again, this is not as important. You can see I'm going to hit a camera adjustment here just to make sure I have it right. I think I like that size, but I think I may need to go smaller. Again, not where it's mostly going to happen, because again, we're trying to hit the curve, right? Which will change. Everything will change. How do we get it to change? We come up here to where it says mode, process on base plate. I'm going to click that and change it to this one called curved material. You can do a convex or a concave, but it's going to change it to this. You come to the wizard, which says curve material or curve measure. Now this is the default 30 by 30. Now watch what that looks like. When I hit framing on that page, big old square. Also, when I try and change it down to 5, it banks up to 10. I can't go smaller. And now I'm going to remove this so that you can see what this big old square still looks like. Also, can we not talk about the mess? Okay, I'll get to all of that. I got a lot of jewelry to run. But, okay, so here you can see I'm going to put it back in place, making sure my single number one tip, all sides, make sure that it is in the dead center. If it's too small, this is going to be your validation screen. I can't change these, so I guess we're going to do 3 and 3. Now what happens here is the first 3 dots are going to be just outside of my earring. The second 3 are going to be perfect. There's 1 perfect, 2 perfect, and 3 perfect. And then the bottom 3 will also be outside. All I care about is that center line. So when that's done, it'll map it for me. And yes, this looks crazy, but I promise it's right. You can smooth it. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to do any of it. I'm going to hit done. Now I'm going to size it and align it. Auto snapping is on. You can come up here to your settings and choose auto snapping. Make sure that's clicked, or you can just hit Command or Control R to make sure you get it dead center. And you can do this vertically or horizontally. It doesn't matter. I'm doing it horizontally. Now, I already know my settings. I'll share them with you. I'm not a gatekeeper. But I do recommend anytime you process something new, you come in here and you try and find it. Because if I hit apply here, a very cool tip comes up. Hey, Sarah, as a reminder, you're dead center and we can reflect and hurt our laser. So now we have one more step, technically two, before we can process. So we do need to put in our settings. So I'm going to choose IR 95 and 1, even though I'm going to run it at 2 passes. My LPC is pretty low because we're doing a microscopic engraving and I'm not going to have any advanced settings to speak of. Now, before we hit process, remember, we have 2 things we need to do. We have to cover this shiny thing. You can always use this stuff. I love it. I get it from xTool or I've gotten it on Amazon. You can spray it on before you do all this. But I didn't, so I'm going to use marking paper. This is one of my best kept secrets. I don't deal with paint. I don't deal with all that. I deal with marking paper. It's perfect every time. All you have to do is get it wet, apply it. I mean, I don't even let it dry all the way. Just make sure there aren't any bubbles in it and always make sure your piece is level. Did I mention I'm going to share with you what happens when it's not level? Okay. So once I let it dry, I'm just going to close that. And now we can actually set our final prep, which is we are using the IR laser, which means that we need to use an infrared preheat. You have to set it every single time you turn on your laser. Just get into the habit of checking before you hit process. Now, once we hit process here, you're going to come up to the same normal screen when you hit start. If I hit start on my little external button or the machine, you'll see this message in the system. Now, what will happen is, it'll wait 10 seconds, then it'll process. I mentioned that I am going to do 2 passes. I do wait about 30 seconds in between so that I can make sure any of my material is cool. I hit the button, it waits for the preheat, and then it processes. So 36 seconds for this processing, plus the 30-second wait in the middle. Not bad for a minute. Now, when you take it out, especially when you're using this, it may be a weird color. And we don't care. We don't need the marking spray or the paper to get the color, right? Because we're working with an infrared laser. So don't worry about the color. I used a little Dawn, what is it called? Power wash. And you can see I still have some cleanup to do, which I will do later. Hold on. I'm going to set up the second one. And again, manually focus. I'm going to do the same thing with the framing inside the curved material. I'm going to make sure it's here. And guess what I didn't do, friend? I didn't level it. And it's going to become extremely apparent in just a second. I had so many ways and reasons to correct this, so many opportunities to make this right. And look at that. That doesn't even look level. But, I'm going to go anyway because I was dancing to EDM. I was really in the party mood and yeah, I messed it up. But you know what? I had a couple more on hand, so I just fixed this one. Here's what it looks like when you don't level it. You see how off it is? You see how off it is? Yeah, that's my bad. I did that. Okay, so here's what they look like when you fix it. This is in natural light, no color editing. Here it is on video, no color editing. You can see you get a nice little black engraving. You also get a nice little center bit when you align it correctly. So these earrings, again, are blank on the front and the year is on the back. If you have any questions about this process, do let me know. A reminder, I will put my demo link down below in case you have any questions or want one-on-one stuff, any machines, any material testing, or some skills. I am here to help you. And as always, I hope this video helped you. That curved measure is an amazing tool, as is the xTool F2. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content like this.